Welcome back. The godmother of Canadian country music is Mary-Rae Knapp, and she's actually with me because she has a new release that's out. Is this your first book, Mary-Rae?
Yes, it is, and I think it might be my last.
So her book is actually entitled Memoirs of the Godmother of Canadian Country Music, Johnny Reid Changed My Life. I want to find out how Johnny Reid changed her life. So Mary-Rae, wow, it's a big book, and it's a big read, and there's a lot in there. Is there any country music person that you don't know?
Oh yeah, there are some.
Whoa, this is like, my heavens, the book, there's 765 pages in there, along with not only you're explaining where you are, where the photo was taken, and fantastic how long did it take you to pull this together?
Well, I started to write it December 26th, a year ago, when we had our stay-at-home order.
Yes, yes.
I had cleaned every closet, cupboard, drawer, whatever. And I thought, well, now what am I going to do with myself? And so I started on December 26th, and it took me till the end of April to do the first draft. And then it was edited over the summer. So it went to print the end of November. Wow. So it was like 11 months from start to finish.
Which is very good for a first book, my heavens. So what does country music mean to you? It's as if you can't live without it. What is it about country music?
I think the music itself is a lot of storytelling, which of course I like. But the country music world, especially in Canada, is very much a family. And I've made so many friends from one end of this country to the other because of country music. So I would say it's the storytelling of the songs and the camaraderie of the fans and the entertainers with their fans.
Because they're so giving, aren't they? They really are so personable.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So you grew up with country music?
Well, yes, but there was no music played in my home other than the radio. There were no musicians in my family. And then, of course, as a teenager, I liked pop music as well. But country was always there. And I went to both country dances and, pop music dances. So, yeah, it's always been there.
So, and with living in this area too, I mean, I'm sure a lot of our viewers know Tom Wilson and the Western All-Stars. Like, wow. I mean, they were at all kinds of dances. They were entertaining out there, and yeah, country music is big in this area for sure.
Right.
So,
I do mention Tom in my book too.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. So, who was the very first Canadian country music performer that you really, really, really liked? Now, I'm not talking current. But when you were growing up, who did you turn to when you were listening to country music? Who was that one performer that was out there singing? Whether it was Connie Francis, whether it was Jerry Lee Lewis, Roy Orbison, Johnny Cash, any of those, like, who pops out?
Well, I think probably Loretta Lynn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she was and is still my all-time favorite female singer.
Yes.
So she was a huge, and then Conway Twitty.
Yes.
We went to quite a few shows with him.
Mm-hmm.
Canadian-wise, we had Charlie Major from the Ottawa Valley area.
Mm-hmm.
And we heard on the Ottawa station all the time, and Marie Bottrell and Anita Perez. We had a lot of Canadians that I was really fond of as well.
Do you have any idea how many festivals, fairs, performances, concerts that you have attended where there has been country music?
Oh, no. I should have kept track. If I'd have ever known that it was going to end up being such an important part of my life and that I was going to write a book about it,
yes,
I should have really kept track. I know a gentleman from New Jersey, and he started going to concerts in 1998, but he kept a spreadsheet. So he can tell you who we went to see every time,
Yes.
and who's playing where, when. It's just amazing. But I was never that organized when it came to that. People have asked me over the years, they'll say, "Oh, I've seen so and so 25 times or 50 times or whatever." And they'll say, "How many times did you see Johnny Reed?" And I just laugh. I'm like, I have no idea.
Yes.
Like, again, I was just living my life and not keeping track.
No. No. You like these individuals, you like their music, and I would think too, being on the committee at the Joshua Bates Center in Athens would also connect you with a lot of singers and performers.
Oh, it definitely has. And in fact, I started attending the Canadian Country Music Week in 2005, and I was there as a representative of the Joshua Bates Center
Mm-hmm.
in Athens. So um, I went because Johnny asked me to go,
Mm-hmm.
was the reason I went, but I was there representing the Joshua Bates. And so I've seen a lot of entertainers there at the Canadian Country Music Week. And then we also, as part of Joshua Bates, went to something called Contact.
Mm-hmm.
And it's talent buying weekend basically for theaters.
Okay.
And we've met different ones there and hired them. So yes, it's opened up a whole new world for me of entertainers that I might not have met otherwise.
Mm-hmm, that's great. So you do say that Johnny Reed changed your life. How has he changed your life, Mary-Rae?
Well, I think 48 when I met him,
Uh-huh.
and I was perfectly happy. I had a good life. But he came in and he introduced me to, again, the Canadian Country Music Week was because he suggested I go. And it was there and attending year after year at that convention, basically, that I was opened up to entertainers all across this country
Mm-hmm.
and just went from there. It was just to open up the whole world of Canada
Yes.
and the fans that I met. I mean, I started as Tartan Army fan club with him.
Mm-hmm.
And so that not only it gave me some credence to people in the industry that Johnny trusted me to start and run his fan club, then I must kind of know what I'm doing.
Yes.
But it also opened me up to a whole bunch of friends. I
And
mean, I now have friends from one end of the country to the other that I never would have met if it hadn't been for Johnny.
yes, because you're friends with Johnny and his family, and now it's you're friends of friends, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. The fan club members, I mean, some of them I just know as they're members of fan club, but
Yes.
other ones have become true friends of mine,
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, you do. There's certain people out there that you just connect with, right?
Yeah, I say
Yeah,
that about one girl in particular. I said I only had to meet her about once to know that we would be kindred
yeah,
spirits.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Over the years, did you keep scrapbooks?
Oh, yes.
You did, eh?
And that's why I was able to write it as quickly as I did.
Uh-huh.
Um, I had 10 years of Johnny Reed scrapbooks.
Mm-hmm.
I had a small scrapbook with Loretta Lynn. I had one with Terry Sumption, who was actually the first Canadian entertainer whose fan club I belonged to and
Yes.
who I got to know personally, he and his family. So
Aw.
Terry kind of started it off for me for Canadian entertainment, really. Um, but I also had scrapbooks from Fanfare in Nashville when we went there. Um, but yeah, 10 years of scrapbooks for Johnny. And then he was in such a stratosphere that there was no way I could keep them up anymore. So
Yes.
I jokingly said to him, "Well, I got you through this first 10 years. You can worry about the next."
So, Mary-Rae, I remember an interview that you and I had done. It was about Joshua Bates, and Brent Kissel was coming, and you had said that he was going. It was a rising star, and I always thought, I wonder if he will. And he was like you knew right away that he was going to go places, and he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
The first time my husband and I saw him, he wasn't even singing.
Mm-hmm.
He was hosting a show.
Yes.
And we just looked at each other and said, "This boy has it."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
he didn't even have to open his mouth to sing, and we knew he had it.
Wow.
We later heard him that same weekend. We heard him sing, and we're like, oh yeah, he
Yes.
does.
Yeah, he
And
does.
there's several chapters in the book about him as well.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't mind, I'd like to read the foreword that
Okay,
he
please.
wrote for the
Yes,
book.
please, would you?
Okay, okay, sure. Mary-Rae, I'm honored to have been included in your book. I thoroughly enjoyed the trip down memory lane, and I want to congratulate you on your incredibly creative project. I know many people in our Canadian country music family will love your stories.
Wow,
That
that's
nice?
awesome. Where can people obtain your book?
On Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, if they go on Amazon, they can just type in the name of the book or my name.
Yes.
Another way they can do it is they can go to my website,
Mm-hmm.
which is www.godmotherofcanadiancountrymusic.ca.
Yes.
And there's a tab there for book. So you can just click on that and it'll take you right to buying the book. And I like people to go through the website because then they get to see some of the other things that are there.
Yes.
You know, I
Yes.
have interviews with many artists, and there's photos of me with artists, and then there's concert photos of some of the artists on stage. And there's some video greetings from some of them. The Abrams, the Washboard Union, Justin LaBrache all have video shout outs to
Mm-hmm.
me.
That's
And
wonderful.
yeah, so
Good.
that's why I kind of like people to go through the website if they can, because then they can just take a gander around
Yeah,
at what else is there.
of course. Thank you
Mhm.
ever so much. It's been a pleasure talking with you today. Congrats on your book.
Thank you, Doreen.